Okay, here's a very quick tutorial about how I did this. So here's a screenshot or a picture that I've just pulled off of the internet. Imagine it's your screenshot from TF2 or Particle Viewer or wherever. And we want to change this black into transparency. So we're pretty much going to have to make the color of where it fades out ourselves. So it's not going to be a perfect one-to-one. It really depends on how much time you want to put in making it accurate. But this is a quick and easy-ish method, so I'll walk you through how I did it. So we want to make sure our background layer is black by default. That will come into play later on. But we want to pick the brightest color, or like the main color that's in our screenshot. So in this case it's like a gold color, so we'll grab that and then we'll make a new layer and fill that. So we want to take our filled layer, move it underneath our screenshot, click on the screenshot, and if we just duplicate that and hide the duplicate for now, and then we'll set the blending mode of our screenshot to linear dodge add. This is called an additive blending mode. It takes all of the black out as transparency and adds all of the white and extra colors into whatever's behind it, which in this case is our gold color. So this is all this has done so far is replaced the black with orange, which is fine. So we'll go ahead and select these two layers and merge them together. So this is now our color portion of our texture. So if we reveal our duplicate again, make another duplicate, I'll show you why later, we want this to be our alpha mask, and that means black parts go transparent and white parts become opaque. But we have color at the moment, so we want to get rid of that. So if we go to hue and saturation, turn saturation all the way down, you now see we've got a black and white image. We're probably going to have to adjust this further, but for now let's just apply it and see what it looks like. So I want to do Control A, select all, and then Control X to cut it. So you see how it's now empty, so we can delete that layer. With our color image selected, you'll want to go down to your channels tab. It might be in a different place on your one. Sorry, no, we don't want to do that yet. At the bottom of the layers panel there's this button, add layer mask. So you see that adds a mask excuse me, for our specific layer, and you see in our channels that layer mask has now appeared, but it's turned off by default. So we want to turn it on, and then we can Control V and paste our black and white mask into this mask channel, and you see everything's gone all red. Photoshop, for whatever reason, sometimes displays transparency as a dark red color, but when we come out of this it will turn to proper transparency. So if we click onto our color portion of our layer, you see the red has now gone back to black. Now this black is actually our layer underneath, so if we hide that, you'll see it's now transparent. And this is why we keep a duplicate of our screenshot. So if I just deselect this, if I unhide our original screenshot, you'll see the color doesn't quite match. So this is where you'll have to do your manual tweaking. So I'm going to move this to the side so I can have our texture and the original screenshot side by side. And I want to make our white portions a bit brighter. So I'm going to select our mask by clicking on the black bit, go image, adjustments, brightness. You can pull the brightness up or the contrast up or down depending on what you think looks good. This will obviously be a bit cleaner if you're doing something that's just in the middle rather than like going all the way to the edges. So that looks pretty good. You can obviously preview, see your difference there. And you'll notice our color isn't quite right. again, this is down to how much effort you want to put into fixing this. But it's like a quick example. If I go back into our color, we can either blanket change everything by adjusting our hue, which sometimes that's all you need to do. Other times you might need to go in with a brush or other method of doing this. So see how there's some red at the bottom down here? So I might choose a red brush. We could try putting additive as our brush with a very low opacity. Let's try 25. So if I paint, that's not doing much. If I go higher, it is doing something, but it's not doing exactly what we want. So let's just try normal. There you go. So you see that's doing that, but we don't want it to overwrite our whites. So I think one of these blending modes, it might be multiply. No. Screen. I'm not sure which one it is. You'll have to go through and play around with which one is good. But long story short, when you've got the color mask selected or the color portion selected, you can go in and paint where there are color differences. You know, even just normal with a semi-low opacity. You know, you can already see there's a difference there. You know, I could choose a more gold color and maybe do some of the top. Just make sure you don't go too far into the whites, because then obviously you'll have to put the whites back. And then when you've finished, make sure your background layer is turned off. Get rid of that there. And then you just file save that as a 32-bit PNG, and that's your transparency done. Hope that helps.